very convenient.
Very
for
well.
Yes, it was very. It would be there was a staircase that would be easy. That could make the case come in easily, and also there are maybe in classes, facilities, when policies are being put out there, how much of these policies, how much of these policies actually includes those people with disabilities, like how much of their rights are actually being catered for. So most of these things are things that we need to look out for in our policy, in our organizations, and in many activities that we carry on in our society.
All right. Picture this. Say we want to make jollof rice now.
Okay.
And we all know the ingredients we need to use to make jollof rice. Tomato is an integral. It's a very important part. You need the rice. You need all of that. Now, think about you saying, I don't need rice. I don't need tomatoes. I don't need any of these ingredients. I just need rice to make jollof rice. It's not even concoction, because you have it's white rice you have decided to make. Do you get? So there'll be some level of imbalance in that your pot of jollof rice, because the things that ought to make it jollof they're not complete and they're not present. That's the same thing with a government that does not picture in people of diverse identities, people of diverse culture, peculiarities, people that have various peculiarities. These people need to be factored in the government process so that we can have engagements throughout the leadership process that leads to better outcomes. Like you said, if you put the jollof rice, if you put everything needed, you'd have an excellent pot of jollof rice.
Definitely.
So if you include people with disabilities, if you include people of diverse gender, male or female now, if you include all of these people, they can bring their perspective about who they are and what will make them comfortable as a people. So you see that, like you said, the rails that will enable people that are on wheels to access buildings easily is the same thing. So they need to be factored in. Everyone needs to be factored in the governance process. And this is what makes societies stable. It is instrumental in the transformation of societies as well. Now, adopting an inclusive democracy approach, what it does is it ensures that the needs and the priorities of marginalized, underrepresented groups, especially persons with disabilities and within the FCT, because that's our purview.
That's a focus point.
Yes, within the FCT and everywhere are considered for sustainable development as well. Now, we have succeeded in defining inclusive democracy and gender leadership. How do you think? What are the opportunities in the adoption of gender leadership?
Okay, when you're looking at the opportunities that adopting gender leadership would actually bring forth to our community, number one, if we look at empowering women and marginalized group, it would yield to the results that women and marginalized group will be able to contribute their quota to the development of the community. Because when you tend to look at it, like if people with disabilities, like aside their personal disabilities, they have a lot of skills, they have a lot of intelligence that they can contribute to certain things in the community. So when we bring these people on board, they will also be able to have a particular development which will be a plus to the community also. Then it will also bring about improved decision making and policy making. As it is said, a tree cannot make a forest. Exactly. So we need to bring people all together. Since we are agitating for them to be included, they are the ones that know what kind of policy will favor them in their circumstance, in their conditions. So you can't be making policy for someone that you don't know how the person feels or what the person goes through. So definitely you must put them in place when we are doing all this. When we are developing our policy, when we are making decisions, they also need to they also need to be in place also for them to actually contribute their quota. Another development it will bring is it will enhance social justice and equality. We are all clamoring for social justice, equality for everyone. And how can you tell me there is equality when we are not giving the right policies for every person to actually benefit from. Just like, for example, now a person of 5 feet and a person of 10 feet want to look over a fence, then and maybe the fence is 12 feet. For there to be equality, you have to give the person of 5 feet a stool that would actually take about 7 feet, and the person with can meet up. So as also you can't say the particular amount of food that will be satisfactory for a small child will be satisfactory for an elderly person. So putting it in this particular circumstance, you can't lay down the same policy for certain persons expecting it to work for another person's. So those are part of the things that when we look forward to inclusive democracy and gender leadership, these are kind of the opportunities it would actually yield. Also, let me add to it that it will also boost economic growth and development, because these persons also needs to engage in certain businesses for them to actually sustain themselves. And okay, for example, now a person with disability that can't walk or something, when you empower such person with other things he can use his hands or mouth or other abilities of his particular body to do, it will also add a plus to our economic growth. So I think these are some of the opportunities and advantages it will bring to our community.
All right, people, you already had Ibrahim Farouk at Deza, and he is a rep from the ProMat Foundation. And of course, Martha right here, we've been having the conversation on the Civic Matters about approaches to inclusive democracy and gender leadership, and today we're focusing on persons with disability and some of the advantages of including them in the governance process. So yes, we'll open up the phone line. So if you peradventure have contributions that you need to make, now is the right time. 09073530044 or 09087668888. You can leave us a message on WhatsApp letting us know. Peradventure, you're also a person with disability listening. Let us know some of the policies and the framework that will, enable you feel included in the governance process and the leadership process. Because the entire topic or the entire conversation for today is approaches to inclusive democracy and gender leadership. Please keep it locked in here with us. It's Martha, and of course, Ibrahim Farouk. We'll be right back.
No offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other audio. Long weekend.
Spend this holiday locked in. My body got rid of them toxins.
Who's ready for winter? Woo! Nobody? Me either.
102.3.
Through our research and policy memos, we have identified the challenges facing youth civic participation. Now, it's time to equip you with the tools you need to engage with government agencies and elected leaders effectively. Are you tired of feeling sidelined in the governance process? Do you want to make a difference in your community? Don't let your voice go unheard. Tune into Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Civic Matters and Foundation with the support of the Nigerian Youth Futures Fund, NYFF.
Playing the best music from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is
102.3. Eagles 102.3.
Staying with us. Luckily, our guest already has joined us in the studio, but our time is fast spent and would love to, have you say a thing or two right here. But before we get into that,
Milky Way to Earth, everywhere there's internet, you can connect with Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja.
In the development sector.
Log on to our website.
Dedicated to amplifying the voices of women and girls with disabilities within the realm of international development, and she's the executive director and founder of Cedar Seed Foundation and global president of the Network of Women with Disabilities, a global global network with members across the world, where she is responsible for steering the development and empowerment of women and girls with disability in major thematic areas. Thank you so much, Ma, for joining us today. All right, let's just thank you. So let's just run it through with you. How has this been over the years?
It's been very challenging.
Okay.
Ranging from infrastructural barrier to attitudinal barrier to medical to economical and institutional barrier, which talks about the legal frameworks that we have in this country.
Okay.
How is it inclusive? How is it accessible? And how is it being implemented? What are the strategies? It's not just about having a national policy, a national law. What are the actions being taken to ensure that everyone is included? Young people, women, persons with disabilities, especially women. Women with disabilities pass through different challenges. Being a woman with disability, and the barriers that I just mentioned. They go through a lot. When it comes to employment, nothing for them. When it comes to economic empowerment, nothing for them. When it comes to appointment, have you ever seen a woman with disability being appointed from the federal level? No.
Wow.
So we really need to re-strategize. We really need to rethink and come up with action plans that will ensure inclusivity of women and girls with disabilities.
Thank you so much, because I already feel that, already as a woman, we have some of these limitations already in governance and all of that, and then being a person with disability again makes it even. But yes, what do you think are the ways to advocate for persons with disability and gender leadership in the FCT to promote sustainable development?
Yes, first of all, collaboration and partnership, which is Sustainable Goal 17, that talks about coming together to talk about ideas that will ensure inclusivity. And secondly, in the FCT, if you move around, you realize the city is not disabled friendly. So we need to remind all the key actors, FCT minister, local government chairman, and other actors, traditional leaders, the clergy, because we go to church, we go to the mosques, imams, everyone that is listening. How is your mosque inclusive? How is it accessible? What about our churches? During preaching time, do you have sign language interpreters to be able to accommodate members with hearing impairment? Is your mosque accessible? Your school, workplaces, at the entry and exit points, do we have ramps? Your restroom, is it accessible for those in wheelchairs that have a wider wheelchair? Will the doors accommodate those wheelchairs? These are sensitive issues that we need to critically look into to ensure that everyone, I repeat, everyone is carried along in the development sector, in everything that we do. I'm so proud of Eagles FM. From the entry point to the studio that I am, nobody supported me. I came in independently. That's to tell you,
Thank you.
Eagle FM is accessible. So we also need you to give us some airtime to start talking about our issues.
Okay.
So I'll still come and meet the manager.
All right, there's no problem at all.
The organization that brought me here too, thank you for this opportunity to hear our voices and also amplify our rights as citizens with disabilities.
Thank you. You guys already had that. It's a place for all, literally, and everybody. But I mean, we would love to have you, for an extended period,
Yes,
but
yes.
our time is fast spent. So let's just ask.
Apologies for coming late.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. All right. So I think you've said a bit about the current state of person with disabilities participation in governance, where you say no woman at all is represented.
Yes, we are at a 0% level of participation. And it
Zero.
is sad. Yes, because it's very annoying that when you get to other countries, you see how things are being done. Just Uganda here, they reserve spaces for persons with disabilities. When it comes to appointment in this country, they give to men. I mean men with disabilities. And we have competent women with disabilities. Dr. Irene is there, Patience is there, Rose Daniel, Susan Kelechi. We have even those with doctorate degrees. So what are we saying? We have the capacity, we are passionate about changing the narratives, about challenging the status quo, but the platform and the opportunities are not given to us. And you know, it is time that we begin to move from the charity model to the social model, and from the social model to the human rights model, where everyone is included. And you know, the social models that we have are in 4 categories. Exclusion to integration, integration to inclusion, and so many issues that we need to be integrated and included. And the human rights model, where our rights as citizens of this country are given to us, not minding the disability status, gender, the color, race, or whatever it is, the region you're coming from. No, we should start removing those things from our forms that we fill, admission forms and other issues that we need to address. Let's start addressing them one after the other.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much for joining us. And, you know, short time, but very impactful. And I hope that we've picked a thing or two from the entire conversation here. We hope to bring her back, you know, sometime where we have an extended period. Definitely. An extended period of conversation here. But yes, I think this will bring us to the end of the Civic Matters for today. I'll see you next week. And we're counting that to 2 more episodes, guys. And then we'll wrap it up for Promat. I'm trying to see how I can cajole them to stay here for a longer period of time. But until that happens, thank you so much for being here through from the number 1 episode up until the 11th episode. I'll see you again next week at 11 a.m. still on the Civic Matters by Promat Foundation. Now you can visit them across all their social media platforms so that you can play the trivia and win yourself some prizes. We have run out of time, so we're sorry. We'd have to step out right about now. Keep it locked in here. It's still Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can count on. And this is Martha, and I definitely will be right back.
Tap in and turn it up.
www.eaglesfm.com. Follow and engage with us now on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at Eagles FM Abuja, Instagram at Eagles FM 1023. Download our apps on your Android and iOS stores. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can count on.
Playing the best music from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is
102.
Long weekend.
Spend this holiday locked in. My body got rid of
We have identified the challenges facing youth civic participation. Now it's time to equip you with the tools you need to engage with government agencies and elected leaders effectively. Are you tired of feeling sidelined in the governance process? Do you want to make a difference in your community? Don't let your voice go unheard. Tune into Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja.